So, welcome to the Blue Collar Society podcast. My name is Matt. This is Jeremy. Say what's up, Jeremy.
What's up, man?
On this podcast, we're really just going to be talking about, what it is to work your ass off for a living.
To be a blue collar.
Yeah, and not always getting ahead. Certain things we see in our day-to-day lives that just, honestly, not just affect us, but they affect everybody. So much so as, we work in the HVAC industry. We're in attics every single day in the middle of summer. It's 140 degrees in an attic,
man,
if
dude,
that.
It's take a toll on you throughout the week, and
So Jeremy, how old are you?
I'm 21.
21. I'm 24. How old do you feel, Jeremy?
These past 4 years that I've been doing it, dude, it's just, man, feels like I'm in my 30s.
No shit, right? So, basically, what this podcast is about, and we're just gonna talk about who we are and what we go through day to day. And I'm sure we're not the only ones. It's a struggle for people like us who are honestly not so much high class, but not so much lower class. We're middle class, but
we feel for the others, man. It's almost like a support for who we are.
And it's basically just to let everybody know that you're not alone in feeling like, it's hard to kill yourself every day for as much as you make, and not so much like you want to get ahead, you want to make more money, you want this and you want that, and your skill set, whether it be a trade, whether it be just what you're good at, and this is about not so much, we don't want to see anybody held back, and it's hard because of what we go through every day, I'm 24.
What is it? 89% of this world is blue collar.
Everybody is, man.
You gotta make your way up through anything. Then.
Okay, so this first podcast is basically just going to be about
an intro.
It's an intro, and it's about who we are.
It's our first time shooting podcast. We gotta get the feel of it.
Yeah, and what it is that makes us want to do this, and the people that have influenced us within our lives. Like my father, for one.
Oh yeah.
My father has always been, hands down, the fucking definition of blue collar. He worked in the oil field for as long as I can remember. He's always provided for me and my sister and his now ex-wife, which is my mother. And he's always killed himself. He never complained, never bitched, nothing like that. But he is the definition. And I guess this podcast, to me anyway, I don't know about you, I'll get your opinion, but my podcast for this is just let people know that we live in a digital age, where it's you can do anything nowadays. Yeah. You can do anything to get ahead. Yeah. You don't have to do the look at your fucking Twitch streamers and your fucking
dude playing video games. The dream I had when I was
fucking
12, 13.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Just imagining. I didn't have the money to buy all the programs and computers and to record and post on YouTube. I could have found a way, but
but we were kids back then. It's different. We were kids back then, and back then it wasn't the way it is now.
No.
Back then it was so much like, oh, you're stupid. You think you can make $1 million off playing video games? You need to get out and get a real fucking job.
Now what? 10 years later.
10 years later.
We were millionaires getting sponsored by Red Bull.
Red Bull, fucking all these computer, fucking everybody. It's outlandish to me that people are literally sitting in front of a fucking computer screen playing video games. Which, by the way, I love playing video games. I fucking absolutely love video games. So to be able to sit there and just do what you love for a living,
and that's the point of life. You have so many choices in life to where you can do whatever you want, but you got to take that chance.
Yeah.
And successful people fail.
They're always gonna fail.
And
any successful person. I actually was having this conversation with you earlier. Any successful person that says they've never failed, it's not a fucking success. No. It's bullshit. I'm sorry. And I feel like a lot of times these days that and I'm going to catch a lot of flack for saying this, but the American dream is not what it used to be. It's not. You go and you kill yourself every day thinking that you're going to get ahead. And maybe this is just my personal experience.
The majority of the population lives off of 9 to 5. They settle with their life, and they don't want to succeed, and they don't want to live up their dreams to where they want them to be.
They get stuck.
Yeah.
They get stuck. They get comfortable with where they are in life and what it is that they're doing, and they're just like, oh, you know what? I'm comfortable here. And then 5-10 years down the road, they're just like, what the fuck did I do with my life?
They live their life with regret once they get older. They just wish they took that chance to
do something different.
Yeah.
That's what it is. To do something different. And that's, for us, that's what this is. It's doing something different. I mean, we're in a fucking, look at where we are. We're not in some fucking recording studio. We're not in this net. We're just somewhere where, you know what, our thoughts can be put out there. And that's a beautiful thing, you know. So, Jeremy,
by the way, we're located in Texas.
Corpus Christi,
Texas. Hometown. Born and raised here. You know, like Matt was saying, my dad was the same way. Grew up, you know, struggling, but he always made a way to provide us with a roof over our head, food on the table, and, you know, just a rough life. But now it's kind of finally balancing out, and just kind of realizing all the accomplishments he had and to provide for us. And
so what does your dad do for a living, Jerry?
He drives 18-wheelers for FedEx Freight.
Oh, that's badass.
Yeah.
What's like? It's good money, right?
Yeah.
Decent money, right?
Yeah. I would never be able to get behind that wheel.
I couldn't either.
Reverse into like
Dude,
a small
hell
spot.
no. Dude, I have a truck and I can barely park my fucking truck as it is. There's no fucking way I can fucking park an 18-wheeler and just and do that. There's no way. So, but that's badass, dude. Like,
it's hard, man. You know, that's life, man. It's just we gotta make the choices we want and to live it up and do what we want to do.
So here's a question. If you could be anything in the world, anything, what would you do? I mean, seriously, what would you do?
Yeah,
like, as far as, because let's be real, let's tell, did we tell them what we do? We work in HVAC.
HVAC, yeah.
We work on air conditioners every fucking day. We're in attics. It's hot as shit. And at some point, at what point does it become too much? What would you rather be doing for what you do? Because you're what do you do?
Service tech.
You're a service tech.
I go and diagnose. Well, you know, I was started as a, you know, installing duct. Finally made my way up, installing units. Right. Now I'm finally diagnosing, condemning the units so they can go and get replaced from the installers. Okay. But it just all boils down to.
But no, seriously, like, what would you rather be doing?
It's tough,
hey,
man.
Look, man, and this is the thing. I know
so
there's people that are probably gonna see this that are gonna be like, "Oh, you said that. Fuck that."
Yeah.
What would you rather be doing? What's your dream, Jerry? That's the thing. What's your dream?
Well, you know, I want to live by doing whatever I want to do, still getting income from a business which I still haven't figured out, man. You know, we've talked about this multiple times.
Yeah, many fucking times.
And you just don't want to kill yourself, and you just don't want to grow up and be like, fuck, I should have done this, I should have done that. Well, it's like, no, you're young, you have so many, you have a whole life ahead of you. You can do so many things, but it's that time to make that choice to where you're like, fuck this, I'm tired of it. Let's go and do this. By yourself, with a partner.
And with that being said, though, it's nothing against the people we work with. It's nothing with the people we work for. Yeah. It's just, at some point in your life, you have that fuck this in your blood, and it's just, fuck this. There's better out there.
Yes.
That's what it's about. And we're both very good at what we do. Because I'm an HVAC, whatever. I don't know what I am, to be honest with you. I have a lot of skills. I'm good at what I do. But at what point does the money outweigh the bullshit?
That's up to you, though, man.
When does the money outweigh the bullshit, Jerry? That's what it comes down to. In your mind, where does the money outweigh the bullshit and the drama and the politics that you have to put up with every single day? What is it that makes you just want to stand up and be like, you know what?
It's not only on yourself. It's on your supervisor, your boss.
It is. That's right.
You know, it's to a point where you get fed up if you don't see
it comes down to killing yourself every day.
Yeah.
And that's, I feel like a lot of people these days, blue collar wise. I watched my dad go through it for 17 years in the oil field. You know, you're not gonna say what company he worked for because it's not important. But I watched him go through this every single day, and it's just you start to understand as you get older. The old heads that you talk to in your lives, they tell you these things, and when you're a kid, you say, "Yeah, fine, whatever, fuck, you don't know, fuck," because you have that in you. It's like, but as you get older, and you get more mature, you start to understand that these motherfuckers are wise as shit. They're wise as fuck, and they know what they're talking about. So, at what point?
You gotta feed off of that.
What point do we start listening to? Because that's where I'm at these days. I'm at the point these days where I'm starting to listen to people that have been through the shit, not so much as, you know, because I'm young. I'm still 24. But you know, my dad, he's 58. I started listening to my dad, and I started telling him, you know, what I'm going through and what, and he has every situation planned out before he even talks.
But that's just the foundation we came up from, dude. It's like some people didn't have parents like us and to mold us to where we are today. You know, and I thank my dad for giving me all the wisdom he has to make me become the man I am today. You know.
Yep. And I feel the same. You know, it's like I told you earlier. You know, I tell everybody, my dad is my best friend. He's my best friend no matter what. He's always been there for me through everything I've been through, which is a lot of shit, which we both know.
And some people aren't blessed like that, man. Some people's dads just burn off.
Yeah, they burn off, or they're just hard asses.
They're not supportive. They're not caring. You know.
Yep, not supportive. So I guess what my thing basically with this podcast and yours is the same. You know, we're going to talk about a lot of things.
You know, and it's all miscellaneous shit, but
yeah.
We're just kind of just trying to get a feel, so people could kind of just you know.
And the thing is like there's a lot of things in the world right now. Like I feel like honestly, as fucked up as it sounds, I feel like the blue collar class, I feel like we're a dying breed. I really do. I feel like you have people coming up these days. This is just me.
Go ahead.
I have people. I see people coming up these days that they feel like things should be handed to them. That.
Well, it's not only that's a perspective right there, but there's some people who grow up having a silver spoon.
That's very true too, and I hate to say it. I've seen it firsthand in my life, which is sad, but
they're blessed. You know what I mean? That's all I can say.
It's blessed, but the thing is people that grow up with a silver spoon in their mouth, they don't always see it as them being blessed.
Yeah.
That's the downside of that is they always fucking want more. Even though they have everything fucking handed to them,
you never know,
dude. More.
Some stuff could go down south, man, and they're stuck into a situation where they can't get out of because they weren't raised to, work and provide for whoever,
That's
for themselves.
True. They wouldn't understand. They would not understand.
Me,
I can't say that. I've been there, I've done that. And it's not only about just one thing I was always taught was that you can't provide for somebody else unless you can provide for yourself. So going out here at 50, doesn't matter how much, but making what you make, you can't, sometimes you start to think, man, I can't even support myself on this. How am I ever going to be able to support somebody else?
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of blue collar workers, they feel that. I make what I make and I just said it. So people are going to know, I don't give a fuck. But it comes down to, if I can't support myself at this pay rate, how in the fuck am I ever going to support somebody else? And there's people that make less that can't even fucking do it.
And then again, it comes down to we all have choices in life.
This is true too.
And
this is true.
I'm not saying you're bitching and whining.
Yep.
You want to change. Everybody does.
Well, it's like we've talked about, me and you. If there's something you don't like in life, only you can change it. Only you have that power. That's the beautiful thing of living where we live, in the country we live in, where if there's a problem, only you can solve it. And you may have to fucking grind your ass off.
Yeah.
You may have to grind until you're fucking who knows where, But I want to take something from Gary Vaynerchuk. He always says, from the time you're 20 to 30, you're going to have to eat shit. Eat the shit and just fucking deal with it. Close your eyes until you're 30 is what Gary Vaynerchuk says. When you get to that point, you start to wake up and you're like, hey, what the fuck am I doing?
No, you can't, bro.
It's
you
like
can't.
that.
You got to take that first step when you're young. So by the time you're in your late 20s, early 30s, you could just sit back, relax,
and just chill, and just coach.
That's what my dad always told me. He's like, go to school, do what you got to do, work, make your money, save.
All right, so here's another question though. Here's another question. Schooling. Let's get into that real quick. What do you think on? And that's because of my background and your background.
It varies because people are against it.
Are you for it or against it? Or are you kind of on the fence?
I'm on the fence, man, because 4-year degree, 6-year degree. I know people who have a 4 to 6 year degree and still haven't
done shit.
They have the ability to make $100,000 a year, but it's just.
But would you say that it's because they don't have the experience, or because
that falls into play again?
You know
if someone comes into our field that takes classes and schooling on HVAC, they come in and they're like.
But let's be real too, though. We've had guys come into our industry that have gone to school and when they come out, they don't know shit.
Yeah.
And we actually are the ones that have to teach them.
Hands-on.
We haven't done the schooling.
Hands-on is the benefit for doing whatever field.
Okay, so that I'll agree with you. I'll agree with you on the hands-on that is I think hands-on is
because we run into issues that they don't teach in school that they can't. You know what I mean?
This is very true.
And it's just a totally different ballgame once you get into the field itself.
Okay, so see, now we're talking. Now we're talking about some real shit. Okay, so when it comes to schooling, I think, and this is just because my background, you know, I've never finished school, this and that, but I jumped into the workforce when I was very young. I've been doing it for years upon years upon years, and one thing that I've learned is that without experience, you can't get anywhere.
Yeah.
And you got all these people that
Well,
come out of
let's talk about
school.
what was your first job, second job?
Okay, my first job. Oh God, my first job was actually I washed dishes at a restaurant. I was 17 years old. I dropped out when I was 14. I'll be real with you and the people that are watching. I dropped out when I was 14. My story is a fucked up one, but I mean, this is what this is for, right?
Yeah.
So I dropped out when I was 14 or 15. I was doing some shit I shouldn't have been doing, whatever. Well, I had some things happen in my life where I was like, you know, fuck it, it's time to change. And that's what life's about, it's about change. So I got up one day, and there was a fucking little restaurant right here by the house. I said, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna go apply. I jumped in, and I got the job as a fucking busboy. And it fucking sucked. Every minute of it
I mean, as young as you are, you're just, you know, it's income for you.
It's income, and that's the thing. Is like, and it wasn't so much that it was. I wanted to stop disappointing the people around me because I was doing some shit that people knew I was not. It wasn't me. I got up one day and I said, you know, fuck it, I'm gonna go get a job. And honestly, the sad part is being a busboy. Like, you learn a lot about people. You learn that people suck. First of all. People are always going to suck no matter what.
Yeah.
And it's no offense to everybody else because you have to be careful about what you say these days. People get offended. Everybody sucks. They do because everybody has their own opinions and their own things that they feel a certain way about. And the difference between me and most people is like I'm not afraid to tell people how it is. I'm very real, just like you are. That's why we get along so well. Now, I did this for 3 months and my dad was working the oil field at the time. And he told me, he said, hey man, you know, why don't you come do this? And I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't know. I thought blue collar, this and that, blah blah blah. This is my introduction to blue collar.
Yeah.
Was literally at 18 years old, the day I turned 18. Maybe the day, 2 days after, whatever. First thing I did was I went out and bought me what I wanted to do. I was 18. I could buy certain things. So, and then the next thing I did was I applied in the oil field. I jumped in the oil field. I did that for a year and a half total before I got laid off in the downturn in the market and whatnot. So the thing I learned in the oil field was that there is no room for bitching and moaning and crying and there was no room for it. And I've known that because I worked, my dad, 17 years my dad did this shit. I grew up around it. There's no room for it. And he told me, son, you're not going to be able to ride my coattails. You're not going to be able to, because you know who I am, you're not going to be able to jump in and think that you can run shit.
Yeah.
He was right. He was very right because my first summer, I ended up losing 20 pounds in the oil field. This is because I was overweight. I was bad. It was bad, dude. And I jumped in, and it taught me a lot about life. It taught me a lot that you gotta have thick skin in this world.
Oh, dude.
You have to. People are always gonna
You're
fucking
not
hate
gonna put up
them.
with this whiny bullshit.
No,
you know?
there's no
We've had
bitching.
issues in the HVAC field.
It's the same shit, dude.
The
And
mentality of kids nowadays is changed over the generations.
Yeah,
you
it
know?
really has.
They don't make them like they used to.
They don't. They
It's
don't make them
hard
like
for
us, brother. Or these people that are like
that
us.
feel how we feel.
Yeah.
They're in the same boat as we are, and you know.
And I'm all for it. And this is the thing. A lot of businesses, I feel like, they hire younger cats because they're young. They don't know anything. We can mold them into whatever the fuck we want.
Exactly.
But at the same time, these young cats, especially nowadays in this generation, they don't understand what it is to work the way we do. They don't know. And that's, maybe it's just because like when I was 18, I was kind of the same way. I grew up, I didn't have a high school education, I didn't have any of this. So I jumped into the oil field just to kind of, I need money.
Yeah, well, you know,
I didn't have a choice.
I was 15, July of 2014 or 13.
Yeah.
And I was trying to apply at Subway. Well, you can't get hired unless you're 16.
Okay.
Like, fuck. Okay. Well, one of my buddies knew the manager, so they got me in. Waited a week, turned 16, whatever. Worked there for like 6 months. It's like, fuck this, you know, this wasn't working for me. Subway.
Yeah.
Got a job at Whataburger, worked there for like 2 weeks. And I was like, nah, man. I was like, I need, my goal at that age was like, you know what, I think I can make good money at H-E-B. for whatever reason.
I hear HEB.
You know,
I hear their benefits and everything is the shit.
AC, so I was like, whatever. Got into HEB.
And for those that don't know, HEB is like a local Texas produce. Like it's a grocery store. It is. They take care of their people. So
and
go ahead.
You know, I was turning 18 in a couple months, and I was like, fuck this. I want to go make big money for my age. So I started sandblasting.
You did sandblast?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. You never told me that shit.
Sandblasting.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
But it slowed down. Work slowed down. I needed money, and that's when I got to HVAC.
The HVAC, yeah. Because you started in this with the company you work for now. You started before me.
Yeah.
I think you started about a month before me?
A month or two, yeah. That's, I guess, when you fell off or got slow.
It got slow. We did what we could. We did a lot of rough-ins, a lot of things during the winter, though. I mean, we always had steady work through the winter, which is one thing I want to point out. The company I work for, a lot of HVAC, they don't get that in the winter. We've always been very blessed as to where.
But down here, winter's like 3-4 months. If out of 12, you still get.
If that, we'll be lucky if we drop below 70 degrees down here. You know what I mean? We're lucky if it goes below 70 because we live in South Texas. But the thing is, it's like, man, I don't know. That's why I didn't know you did sandblast. That's cool.
Yeah.
So you understand what it is, and that's what I'm talking about. Is a lot of people nowadays don't understand what it is to, when you struggle, you have to make a change for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to fucking provide for yourself.
And people are all about going to school, and
I would never hate on anybody
because some people have an outcome of being successful with.
Yes, they do.
Whatever, associates, bachelors. But nowadays it's a lot easier just to make a living.
Is it worth it these days, though, to go to school and fucking learn all that? And maybe that's me asking for personal reference. I don't know, but
there's the ability to, because there's a lot of down here. I couldn't say because I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm still working on my degree, but
that's true.
So I couldn't tell you from my experience, but from every other experience people have heard, some people do have an awesome job that they could make over 100,000. That's my goal, or
make
even more.
Hey, fuck yeah! I mean, 100,000 ain't the limit. Bro.
Yeah.
It's just that's a good starting point. You know what I mean? You should always have that starting point. Somebody asked me the other day, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" The fucked up thing, I didn't have an answer for. I didn't know.
Well, that's what my dad always told me. He was like, "Bust your ass, go to school. Some of your friends might not go to school. When you're a year from finishing and they haven't started and they decide to go, they're 2 or 3 years behind you."
Yep.
And
well,
look back at it.
Look at me, brother. It's the same thing.
Be like, just don't waste your time.
Yep.
You can't waste time. Time flies, and by the time you know, you're like, fuck.
I should have done something.
What the fuck am I gonna do? But it's never too late, man.
That's true too.
You could be in your 30s, hit it big.
And that's another thing I want to point out. I watch a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk, fucking Joe Rogan, all these people.
Yeah, dude.
Gary Vaynerchuk alone. Yeah, hell yeah. Big shout out to Joe Rogan. So it comes down to anyone who's holding you back in your life, and this is another thing I feel like we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Is you always have those negative influences in your life,
you don't need that, man.
Which may even and the fucked up thing. It's like Gary Vaynerchuk. It could be your parents. It could be your best friend. It could be your chick. It could be all these different people. Man, fuck that. You have to really sit down.
It's all in your mind, dude.
Exactly. That's it. That's all it is, brother. You got to part. That's all it is. You got to sit back and you got to think, all right, what's this person influencing in my life? Is this person pushing me forward, or is this person fucking?
You gotta let them go if they're negative. You gotta let them go, dude. You gotta keep positive.
But that also goes along with a lot of kids nowadays don't know what. A lot of kids and a lot of people.
There's a handful, they don't know, but it's too much. This new era is just too much of the partying, the drug dealing, and all that.
Oh, you're right. You're right. All these kids want to put out on the Snapchat, oh, I was here, I was fucking partying with this person and this. Yeah. And the sad part is I've never been one to go out and be like, oh, look who I'm with, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who the fuck you with. If you're there, it's going to get around. People are going to say, hey, you know who was here the other night? That's what it's about. And a lot of people don't understand that. Everything is so digitalized and so... Everything's we live in a social world. Where you can literally pull it up on your phone. All right, let's see what she was doing. Let's see what he was doing.
It doesn't matter about the present. It matters about where you end up.
Yep.
To where you can say, I've worked this hard to be this successful for myself and for my family or whatever.
Yep.
But,
Well, the real question you ask yourself is, what are you working so hard for?
Exactly.
That's where I mean, literally, that's the fucking bottom
Because everybody
line.
wants nice cars, nice houses, this and that, and.
But here's the real
just-
question: I can get to the same place in a fucking Bugatti that you can get to in your fucking truck. What's the difference? What's the difference? What is it? You know what it is? It's work ethic. It's work ethic. Just because you can get there in a Bugatti and I can get there in my truck, it's two totally different things. The real fucking thing is my work ethic has proved so fucking far that I can do the same job you're doing, but I'm in a Bugatti.
Yeah.
Or I'm in a better car than you are because my work ethic and what I do for a living proves that I work
I've
a little
worked hard
harder than that person.
to get where I wanted to be, to get the Bugatti, to get the Corvette,
But it doesn't
to get
matter.
whatever.
It's the same title. You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The title never changes. It's just what you do with that title that matters most. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's
Your
also
work
about
ethic.
being humble too,
You
man.
have to stay humble, man. Like I see too many guys now that. Oh, we're gonna get off into this. Okay, I see too many guys. I mean, we're gonna talk about it. Let's talk about it. I see too many guys. You know, way back in the day, when I was in the oil field, I was making good money, and I always took care of anybody and everybody around me if I had it. And that's part of being humble. You don't sit here and brag about what you have. If you have it, you give back
It can all be taken away, man.
like that.
And
Yep.
if it ever happens, God forbid, but you could fall rock bottom.
You
And
could.
you're gonna
And
realize,
it's
like,
like,
fuck.
I've been there, bro. I've been there. Like, you know, I just got home, a year and a half ago from where I was, you know, and I
But
had
you've
it
always
all.
stayed humble.
I've always
It's never
been.
been a, you know.
That's how I was raised, though, and that's another thing. It's all about how you're raised. And I was always taught that you don't ever be flashy. Just because you have money doesn't mean you get to. It doesn't. Honestly, it doesn't make you better than anybody else.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you one single fucking lick better than anybody else. That's what my dad always taught me. Was that if you have it, you give back when you can, and you hope in the end it comes back around full circle. And not always it does. And it's sad and it sucks, but it is what it is. It should never change who you are as a person,
Yeah.
and it should never influence the decisions you make in your life. Ever. You always give back if you have it. We go out to eat at night.
That's just, yeah. But
We
it's
go out
just,
to eat, and guess what I would do? I'd be like, you know what? I'll tell the server. I'll take the check. Because I was having a good time. I was in that moment with people that actually cared about me, actually loved me, and this and that. So I'm like, you know what? I want to capture this moment. I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. And like I said, it doesn't always come back, but it's not always about
But
that.
yeah, this is the world we live in now, dude. Everybody wants to flash and show
Now,
off.
everybody wants to be about themselves these days, which is the sad part. You know, and you have to stick close to the people that are just like, that are like you, that understand what it is to struggle.
be in the rough life, to struggle, man, and
That's
it
blue collar.
sucks.
That's blue
But you
collar.
can't dwell on it. You gotta
Nope.
fucking push your ass and keep
Yep.
going and kicking, man.
You
And
have to.
the world we live in.
Oh, the world we live in is fucking, you know, and it's sad. It's very sad to see it, but it's not what it used to be. It's not. It's,
Well, we can't say, but
well,
it boils. It comes
Let's-
down to where we didn't live in that era, but from the looks of
well, let's
it,
take a
history.
look. Let's take a look at our parents, man. Let's take a look at our parents. All right, our parents have always been, and it's not just my parents. Your parents, the younger cats that are younger than me. I'm 24, and I see people that are 18. I look at their parents, people I grew up with, and I see what they go through, and it's like, yo, they're just like my parents. You know what I mean? Like, it's a generation gap, is what
Yeah.
it is. And the sad part is that the parenting, our generation, mine and yours, and there is a generation gap. I don't know, Generation X, Millennial, fuck all that. It doesn't matter. None of that fucking matters. What matters is the younger cats nowadays are so influenced by what they see on their fucking phone screen.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter what the fuck their parents taught them. It doesn't matter because
they
they
want to
see,
fit in.
they see
it's
here.
about fitting
It's about
in.
fitting
Bandwagons,
It's
just
not about what's right and what's wrong. It's
Yeah.
about fitting in. And that's the sad part. Wow, that's some real shit right there, dude.
Yeah.
That's some real shit. You know, I was always raised to believe that you work hard for a living, no matter what. You always work hard for a living. And yeah, it's gonna suck. You're gonna kill yourself every day, this and that. And the sad part is at 24, I've done this for so long now, it doesn't matter. But we live in an age now where there's so many different outlets and there's so many different opportunities for people like you and like me or everybody. It's just grabbing it. It's grabbing it and fucking running with it. The thing that I'm most scared of these days is that kids aren't consistent. And people aren't consistent in what they want. People get stuck. We talked about this earlier. People get stuck and they just...
Well, they need motivation. And once motivation gets in their head, they need the momentum to go.
What's the motivation though? Is it money? Is it fucking... What is it? What's the motivation?
Honestly, you can have all the money in the world. If you don't have happiness,
that's happiness.
Your life would...
You know, you see an increase these days in kids, 18 to whatever. The rate of depression is so much higher when all they have to do is be happy.
Because the parents can get them whatever they want. It's about happiness, love, and affection. If you don't have that from somebody, dude, you'll end up miserable.
Damn right.
And that's just the way some people's lives go.
Yeah, but you know, and that's another thing, is I would never take away from anybody who's been through some fucked up shit. I've been through some fucked up shit in my life too, but it's a matter of what makes you happy. What is it that you're willing to chase to the ends of the earth to achieve? That's going to make you happy, and what are you willing to do to achieve that? That's what it comes down to, man. You know, I mean, let's talk for a second about what I've been through. You know, I was overweight, I was this and that.
Oh, dude.
I dropped fucking, 80 pounds, 70, 80 pounds. And
that was the choice you made.
That was the choice. The motivation was I got tired of being who I was. And it's just, it's a matter of, if there's something you really want in this world, there's nothing and nobody that should hold you back. But it's all a mindset too, and I feel like people these days have forgotten what it is to have that fucking mindset of a lion, of fucking just that lone wolf. Like, you know what? If you're not contributing to what the fuck I want, get the fuck out of my life. And that's sometimes you got to do that. Everybody, and that's the sad part. Like I said, living in a social world.
See, well, you grew up different. I mean, yes, you were overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a change.
Yes, sir.
This is the way you are now. You know, and it just comes to where some people, there's also bullying. You know, and that can take a toll on them too. You know, that could be their motivation of being fat, being bullied.
And that was one of the things that motivated me was, you know, I was literally, when I was in high school, they used to call me fat ass throughout the school. That's what they did. And it sucks, but it's one of those things that motivates you. You can't let people keep you down. That's a big fucking thing, man. It's like, people suck. It's like I said earlier, people suck. Everybody sucks. Everybody's going to push their opinions and how they feel about you onto you. But
and
it's
then
the confidence
not only now, but it's hitting social media, bullies, dude, suicidal.
And see, bullies these days are fucking, I mean, they're fucking castrated. It's hang them out to dry when it comes to bullying. It wasn't like that growing up for me. We didn't have this shit where you say something fucked up to somebody.
We just entered the next generation of, because bullying and acting up in school, you can go and get your ass whooped.
Yeah, dude, and I'll tell you what, if I fucked up in school...
that might have changed the whole cycle.
But it was, and I think you're right, though. I think you're right. I think this whole bullying thing, they got in front of it. I don't know how the fuck they did it.
Which I honestly think they should have kept it.
No, I don't know.
It's discipline.
Discipline, yes. Because being bullied the way I was, it taught me how to be a bad mother. It taught me how to be hard. It taught me how to, you know what, there's always going to be people out there that are going to talk shit.
Yeah.
But I also do believe that where bullying is concerned, I was always taught, you know, if you have a problem with somebody in school, you take it under the bleachers and y'all fucking duke it out. You shake hands after the end, and whether y'all want to be friends or not.
I was always raised, you hold your fucking ground.
Always.
If I take a fucking beating, I'm not gonna go down as a fucking bitch.
But here's the real question: if you took a beating, what would you do afterwards? Would you shake the dude's hand and say, you know what, you got the better of me? You walk the fuck away. Or would you fucking try to get out and fucking pull a gun or a knife on somebody?
Nah, never.
That's where we're at these days.
Yeah.
That's the sad part. The gap has been bridged, dog. Like, we have too many kids nowadays because of social media. They want to be like these fucking rappers and this and that. And it's if you get your ass whooped, let me tell you, I've had my ass whooped many times. It ain't nothing but a beating.
Yeah.
You wake up the next day, you bleed, you bruised up, and it's like, hey, you know what? You hurt for a couple days, and then guess what? You get the fuck over it. You know, if somebody gets the better of you, they're going to get the better of you, whether it be with words, whether it be with violence, whether it be with anything. It ain't nothing worth losing your fucking life over. Not a fucking thing.
And then it comes down to that, you know, like some people are like, I ain't look like a fucking bitch. You know?
You know what? Fuck it. I gave it my fucking best.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. It ain't like that anymore. How much time we got left?
About 4 minutes.
About 4 minutes. All right, let's do our outro.
We'll wrap it up, man.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up.
This is just a little intro of our first ever podcast. You know,
yeah.
We listened to a few. You know, try to get some ideas, but
and of course,
this is who we are.
In the comments, if anybody has something they want, a little bit of a technical issue.
GoPro died.
Yeah, we don't know how to run our GoPro. But basically, this has been Blue Collar Society. We're here to talk about what we go through and what we see on a day-to-day basis. And
we feel y'all. We feel the other pain, man.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears. You know, we're just gonna be kind of just throwing out miscellaneous subjects.
Yep. If there's anything,
having a fun time bullshitting.
We're gonna talk about honestly what's real in life and what people have forgotten that's there. You know, which is working hard and just killing yourself and just trying to get ahead even when you feel like you can't. So if there's anything that y'all want to talk about, anything that needs to be brought up, we'll dedicate some time towards any comments, anything y'all want to talk about. Just let us know, and we'll go from there.
Man. We're wrapping it up. Peace.
Later, man. Appreciate it.